Hey everybody, welcome back to the weekly rewind. It's me. Hi. I am trying out something new this week with my audio. So please feel free to give me feedback in the comments. I'll do my best to adjust on the fly if needed, but I have no lav mic. I've got like a mic out in the world so we can pick up all the sound, and I also don't trip on cords, but hopefully it's not as echoey as it's been. So it's very echoey. Alright, let's see if I can turn it down just a little bit, and maybe that'll help decibel wise. It might be too that I have it a little too close, but we'll see. Hopefully it's just better, because last week the audio did not sound good to me, so trying something new. Hey everybody, hi Karen, hi Nick, Gator Dave, thank you, Anna, Jeremy, and Carol. I think I just was chatting, got a comment from Carol on Facebook just a few minutes before we started. I had posted a few pictures of the new Wonder Woman game from Ravensburger and Prospero Hall, and just played that today, so we can dive into talking about that. Got lots of games to talk about today. So yeah, why don't we just dive right into that. I'm gonna go over to our close-up cam, and let's get out Wonder Woman. So this is Wonder Woman here. Oh, it's so nice to not have to try not to trip over my lav mic as I switch over to my other table. Isn't that cool? All right, so I'm just gonna start off and just say, personally, I'm not a fan of the art on this one. I like the Wonder Woman stuff, and I just thought it could have been a little bit better. But that's just my 2 cents. That's me. I'm sure other people will think it's great, because I think it's really just a personal taste when you think about the comics. But it's not necessarily my favorite Wonder Woman art. But, so you're out here, you're defending Themyscira, you're going to have a villain that you'll be working up against, or bad guy. So today we did Ares and Circe, and you're going to choose your Amazon, right? So we played as Diana and Artemis, and you each are going to have, the way the game works, it's very much like Horrified in a way. So if you like Horrified, you're probably going to like Wonder Woman, although it's definitely lighter to me, like lighter than Horrified, probably a little bit more approachable. This is a Target game, so it's totally perfect for that market. I'll say that right there. If you need something a little lighter than Horrified, or maybe the Horrified theme didn't do it for you, this one probably will. So this is Wonder Woman Challenge in the Amazons, and it is a co-op. So on one side of the board here, you're going to have your defenses, and you're going to be hoping that you don't end up at 0, because if you do, then you are done. You have your enemy health. It's going to vary based on the enemy and the player count. So for a 2-player game, we had 15 health. If you wanted to do difficult, it would be 18 health. For Circe, it was 8 or 11. And then if you flip, there are different things going on for higher player counts, so 3 and 5, or varied, I should say odd numbered player counts. That's why. Okay, so 3 and 5, I didn't even notice that earlier. Anyway, so we played obviously at 2-player. So with Ares, the game was over pretty quickly. He was a little on the easier side. I wish we had gone a little more difficult with him, but then with Circe, she was a lot tougher. So I'll tell you about how the game works really quick, and we'll see if we can make it make sense for you. So we've got Diana and Artemis, and you're going to have a series of action cards. Let's see what the comments are saying. Let's see if anybody has any questions so far. I think the white space on the labels, so somebody's asking in the comments what's up with all the white space on labels. And I think it probably is going to have to do with the fact that you're going to be bringing out your Amazons and different obstacles throughout the game, and they're going to be in these colored cubes. And so this whole white space is to hold those, as well as your baddie standee, as well as your Amazon, if I can get the silly miniatures out, your Amazon miniature, okay? And yes, there are miniatures in this game, and there are gold, like statues, which is pretty sweet. So these were the two we played with today. No, that's not her. This is her, Artemis and Diana. So looking really awesome there. You're also going to have others, and I don't know who they are. I haven't looked through all of them yet. But there's all the different Amazons, okay? So we played as Diana and Artemis, so we'll keep those two out for now. So you're gonna have these hero cards, and the way it works is everybody's gonna get dealt 2 face up and 3 face down. And you can talk about the 2 that are face up. And then once you decide on what you're gonna do and you pick up the face down ones, there's no more talking. So that's kind of the thing. So you're gonna have these different icons at the bottom. They're gonna do different things based on the villain, the bad guy. So in this case, oops, that's not on here. It's on one of these cards. So you see we've got some, of course I can't find his right now, so we'll just look at Cersei's. But when you have one of these out here, so book is used to remove purple cubes, in this case magic beacons. For Ares, it was corrupt Amazons. So he was corrupting your Amazon army and making them bad, and so you had to then remove them from the board. And with her, you were removing magic beacons, which are a total pain in the butt for dealing damage to her, because you need 4 of the same type of icon in order to deal damage directly to her. But for every purple one out, you have to have 3 more, which makes it nearly impossible. So you have to manage these beacons, but you also have to manage the different, so she can, you're moving a wolf Amazon or a pig Amazon, so she's changing your Amazons into creatures, animals. So you're gonna lose defense when playing against her when too much of that stuff's out on the board. So how do you manage that? Well, that's with these. So book gets rid of magic beacons. Feet helps you move. Swords are going to help you move the wolf Amazons or the pig Amazons. Stars are going to let you bring out more Amazons. And 4, like I said, of any of these on one card are going to be able to do damage to her, but you'd need more if she has beacons out. So you're going to then choose which of these you're going to put down as your 3 actions. And then you're simultaneously going to all flip 1. And you're going to do one of the actions on here. And you might change your mind when you see what the other players have, because you don't know when you go to lay them out what everybody's going to do. So you have a few choices. So as this one says, adaptable. So you've got 3 different options that are all at 2 strength. For this one, nimble. So if you're needing to move, you want to put that in the spot to move in. Tactical. So if 2 or more players play this, and again, you can discuss beforehand, but that's going to give you a bonus. And there's a whole bunch like that do a bunch of different things for you. And so then you're going to attack, move, get rid of the things that you don't want. Okay, so that's the quick version of it. So then how is the bad stuff happening to you? Well, that's this deck. So you're first going to flip and look at just the location, and then you're going to put her there. For her, when you put her there, she also gets a pig Amazon. Okay, and again, you have to manage how many of those cubes are out. So then you'll flip the second one, and you're going to do whatever it says. So it's a multi-use card. It's either going to be the location or the thing written on there. So in this case, you'll move her then from where she was already in the square, and then you're going to deploy 2 more pig Amazons there. Like, oh, come on, man. Do we need to have all these pigs? And there's a whole variety of them. So this one is a orange and purple. And like I said, those purples are a pain in the keister because they are going to keep you from being able to do damage to her. And there was one in here. Here it is, Arcane. Draw a card and deploy 3 to that region, then replace all warriors in that region with orange. So if you have a whole bunch of your troops out, it's gonna, in that region, it's gonna completely change them into something else. All that is to say, you're gonna keep doing all these things and mitigating this and hitting her until she hits 0 before you hit 0. And that's the game. So your Amazons are also going to have some special abilities. There are relics that come out and they go in here and they're going to come out on the board and you're going to pick them up as you go. And there's some other cool little things like that. Like with Ares, I had to have all 4 of these charges on the sword, and whoever has this has to be the one that does the final blow in order to defeat him. Whereas, with Cersei, we didn't have to do anything like that. Then you also have your own player ability. So during the strategize phase, I can move. During setup, she gets to choose a relic. And those relics come in nice and handy. And I get them out, but they're buried in here. And I've talked about this game too long at this point. But that's Wonder Woman. I'll say the production on it is okay. The miniatures are good. And then if you look at the cards, I thought the cards could have been done, a little better. They seem somewhat flimsy to me. But when you think about the fact that this is a Target game, and they're perfectly fine. It's not like it's the end of the world or anything. It's just the card quality just felt a little thin to me. But overall, when you think about what you're getting in this box, and especially with the cool miniatures, I think it's probably a pretty good value. So that is Wonder Woman Challenge of the Amazons from Ravensburger and Prospero Hall. Mm-hmm. So, what's going on back over here? Let's say hello, hi, I'm back. Okay, let's see. Got a couple of comments here. Yep, okay, so, yeah, Andrew also commented he wasn't a big fan of the graphic design on it. Yeah, overall, when I think about comic books, and we've got Marvel Champions, looks so good, it looks like it's right out of the comics. I was a little disappointed to see that Wonder Woman went the direction that it did, but the game is what it is, and I'm sure there are people out there that are going to love the art, and they're going to think I'm crazy for not liking it or whatever, but there was a lot of white. I think that's probably because of the monuments and stuff that are a part of Themyscira. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. We can talk on and on about that for a minute. So from there, I feel like I almost just need to go straight into Villainous Perfectly Wretched because, and just get Prospero Hall out of the way. We're going to talk about them all the time. It just hit me. I've been talking about Prospero Hall a lot because they've got a lot of really great games coming out. It feels like there's always something new, either through Funko Games or through Ravensburger and the different things that they're doing. So really enjoy always checking out their games. But let's see, we have Perfectly Wretched next. I am sad to say I haven't played through all of my sets yet of all the different villains. So I've played the base game. I played, I think, everybody in the base game. I got the next 2 expansions, but I haven't dove into them yet. I'm disappointed with myself. I was really looking forward to playing the Evil Queen. I was really looking forward to playing Yzma, Scar, and I just haven't gotten around to it for some reason. It hit me when this showed up, and I remember when, and Andrew still hasn't played Villainous. It's ridiculous. Andrew, we need to fix that immediately. You live too close for us to not play this game. So, when this came out, when I heard this was coming, it made me laugh because I had a conversation. I remember having this conversation, and so everybody was at the beginning like, "What do you want? Who else do you want to see?" Of course, I'm like, Oogie Boogie. I want to see Oogie Boogie in this game so bad. It would be awesome. Yzma was another one, so when I saw she came, it was really great. And somebody was like, Cruella de Vil. And then this thread kind of broke out where everybody was like, that would be the saddest one ever. I'm like, they're all kind of sad. They're all villains. I'm like, they're not going to have her make the coat. That's horrible. It's still Disney villains. So I was really pleased, and I thought it was so clever how they did Cruella de Vil. It is very asymmetrical though, and it's one of those games that I don't know, 2-player not, and I think maybe it'll change when you depending on the characters, but 2-player has never really been the best for me, mostly because I play with my husband, and he just like, I shouldn't have played 2-player with him the first time because it just kind of totally made him not interested in the game. It also helped to have a little bit of understanding how the game worked, and so when I was teaching him, but I think at 3, this game is great. I think at 4, this game is great. It obviously goes higher, but 3 and 4 seem to be the sweet spot in my opinion, and what I really liked about this version, and now I'm excited to go back and see what I've missed in the 2 that came before it, are the fact that these are a little more chunky. We played as, let's see, we played as Pete and Cruella DeVille. Mother Gothel, I haven't touched her yet, but, so Jeremy did Pete, I did Cruella DeVille, and they both had a really interesting little extra mechanism that I hadn't seen before. So let's go ahead and jump over and make sure I don't have any comments from you guys while I do. Let's see. Oh, there's my husband saying it had a lack of depth. That was him right there. Thanks, babe. He's only played the very first edition, and he played with Jafar because he's a big Aladdin fan, and it was probably not the best character to start someone off on who hadn't played the game, personally. I think we could have probably chosen our characters a little better. But anyway, here's Cruella DeVille, and yeah, it's the thing. Carol's exactly right. So Carol says in the comments that 2-player can be rough since you're essentially attacking one person with the Fate deck. And that's really what it came down to, is it just was too brutal at 2-player, and I think that it needed... I shouldn't have played it with him at 2-player. I gave him a bad experience. I did a bad job. So, but it is one of those games where you are attacking. So you want to be prepared for what that's going to bring to the table and, you know, be okay with it. So for those of you that have never played Villainous before, God, I love this game so much. I just can't even tell you. It's just such a great game. So you have your little booklet, and it's going to go through your character's specific actions that they need to do to complete to win. So they all have their own win objective. In her case, she needs to start her turn with at least 99 puppies. And she's going to have these tokens that come out throughout the game. Let me get those out here. And there's going to be different ways for her to get them. And they've got either 11 or 22 on the other side, okay? And they're going to be in the different locations. So when one comes out, so this is, the countryside, it's going to go here. She still has to be able to pick it up. And so her cards, and of course, in just wonderful fashion, you idiots, so the 2, Horace and Jasper, you know, speaking of Horace and Jasper, they're the ones who are going to be able to pick up the puppies and put them into her tableau in order to have them to start the turn. And she's going to have a variety of things to help her find these 2 idiots and bring them back into the fold so she can get her things. And like here, during her turn, if another player moves an ally or an item, this is fun. The thematic bits of this are so good. So then you can actually bring more puppies. It's just terrible. So she's found more puppies, but it's here, puppies. Choose a puppy token from the supply and add it to the specified location. So she's just collecting them, and she's got to get them to her from, if you remember the movie at all, she's got to get them to her in order to do what she needs to do, to make her coats, the horrible part. But that's the whole point. You're supposed to stop her, silly. All right, so the other thing is then you have the Fate deck. So very quickly, what you're going to do every turn is you're going to have 4 of these cards. If you've never played this game before, you're going to have 4 of these cards to start the game. And you're going to have the deck kind of off to the side here. And you've got these different actions you can take. And on the other side is this Fate deck. All right, and it looks like this. And on the other side are all the heroes and all the good things and all the people that are always working against you, the ones that the movies are about, okay? And you're going to have all these different actions. So you're going to take your little pawn. Whoops, I got the wrong one in the wrong place because they're both black and white. I love it. And you're going to move it to the location that you want to take actions at. You have to move every turn, and you have to pick a location. And these locations are going to have different actions. The actions are like gain power, which is essentially money, play cards, move cards back and forth. Like for her, she's got her car, and she needs to pick up the puppies and bring them to her, is another one of her things. So she's going to want to move things around, and she can do that with this, or her idiots. You've got discarding cards, that way you can burn through your deck. You've got vanquishing heroes, which are the ones I'll talk about here in just a second. You've got activating a power, so at the bottom of the card, if there's something that it's going to do, that's how you do it here. And then you have fating. And fating means taking 2 cards from the other player's fate deck and choosing one to use against them. And when you do, you're going to put it on the top of the board, and it's going to cover up available actions. Okay? So, I mean, that's pretty cool. So what happens is you have to figure out how to work around that, get rid of them, vanquish them, and you'll have to do that with your guys and you know, shoo them away in order to uncover these again. And she has different really cool abilities that help her, like use one that's covered. She's a big cheater, you know, she can get away with that stuff. So I won when I played with her, and I love the pawn for her. She's awesome. I collected all the puppies, and it's so good. So then with Pete, this was pretty cool, and he had me, I was trying to figure out what in the heck was going on here, because it's just so different. But on his board, he's going to have these goals that come out, and he's going to have a different goal per location, and he's going to be working to make that goal a reality, and once he does, he can flip it over. And his objective is to have completed the 4 goals. So I don't know what they are. I know what the possibility of them are. It tells me on the villain objectives sheet, it could be any of these things. Have 10 strength and allies. What does that say? Have 3 items, spend 6 power in 1 turn, and all these things, and he has 5, so there's one that is not in play. His cards are, of course, all in black and white in beautiful fashion. His fate deck as well. And he's going to have cards like these bandits, which let him bring out multiple bandits at a time, which is what he needs to do in order to have some of these objectives met. So he has a multitude of cards. I would talk about it more if I had actually played this character. I saw what he was doing, but I was very absorbed in my own character and just working to get those puppies, keeping an eye on Jeremy and his goals to make sure he didn't completely catch me by surprise, but I had to work pretty hard to get all my puppies collected. And anyways, just everything about this game is wonderful. From the production quality to the theme and the fact that they've got all the wonderful movie art built in. Now, Mother Gothel is from Rapunzel. I have not played her yet, so I won't spend too much time on her, but I'll let you guys see what she looks like. So that's her. Her objective is to start her turn with at least 10 trust. Oh boy, isn't that thematic? Because she is a total jerk, right? So here's her board and some of her cards. So the fate deck. We've got Pascal in there. And all her wonderful actions, which I will come to find out what those are. But that is Disney Villainous. Again, from Prospero Hall and Ravensburger. This is a series that should go on forever, and I'm sure plenty of you already know that Marvel, or Disney being smart as they are, made sure to add Marvel to this now. And we heard there's going to be some new mechanics that are pretty neat, that go, I'm sure, perfectly well with their universe, but will have similar things that we're used to seeing in Villainous, right? So, fantastic. Let's see, what do we got here? Comments-wise, whoop, whoop. Goodness. Oh, Gator Dave likes my Edward Scissorhands figure. Thank you very much. So, I see, just everybody's kind of talking about it. So there's no game board to it. You have your own player tableau, and you're moving back and forth on the player tableau. So the whole point is if somebody reaches their goal first, you're done. The game's over. And so you have to make sure that you're managing them by using their fate deck against them. Which, when I played as Captain Hook, no one would fate me because you have to, the way he works, he wants to be fated in order to get Peter Pan out because he needs to get Peter Pan. So it's really, really interesting to me, and I think every character I played with has been an enjoyable change. I'm going to go through all of them. I'm going to play all the characters. I'm going to do a review or something because I'd like to just talk about all of them. I love in more detail, like where I talk about which ones end up being my favorite. But I'll tell you, I really, really, really want to see a Boogie. And I can just think about Shock Lock and Barrel and all the fun that comes with the Nightmare Before Christmas world. I would be so excited to see. So what should we talk about next, y'all? We've got Welcome to New Las Vegas. We have Kodama Forest, which is coming to Kickstarter next week from Indie Boards and Cards. If you like Kodama games, this is different. It's completely different. It's like a new game just in the universe. We've also got Santa Monica, Paris, Etten, and I've got some pictures of Lander. Let's do Lander really quick. So Lander, and I'll wait for some of your comments to come in. So we'll do Lander real quick since it's just pictures. But David has played this a few times now, and I know it's coming out next week on Kickstarter, and I think he and Alicia played it again today, so he had sent me some pictures and some notes for today. So it's a tableau building game. You're enhancing your crew members in order to achieve goals and manipulate an evolving main board to get the resources that drive almost everything you do in the game. So there are public missions, private missions, accolades to pursue, so on and so on. Players will play over 5 rounds or years. High score wins, or play the game with the first 10 mission stars being the winner, which I don't fully know what that means since I haven't played it. But it will be coming to Kickstarter this Tuesday, I'm sure, just like most Kickstarters do anymore. Next week's going to be huge on Kickstarter. On that note, it looks like you guys were saying that you wanted to see... so this is not real. Some of you commented, so this is a pre-production copy. I've mentioned before, I am lucky enough to work with some of these people we get to talk about. One of those people is Roxley at Dice Throne, and I have this lovely pre-production copy to just have a look at, take some pictures of. I'm taking it to Gamma, so anybody who wants to see some of the new characters, and if you're going to Gamma, I'll have it there with me. But Dice Throne, don't get me started, you guys. You know me and Dice Throne, I love it so much. So anyway, we'll jump over to Kodama Forest, which is also launching on Kickstarter next week. Ooh. I was so pleasantly surprised with this. I also get to work with Indie Boards and Cards, so but I didn't actually get my hands on this until very recently, and I put the box top on stupid, apparently, so now it's not coming off. Anyway, Quanchai art, again, we love Quanchai. This is a Between Two Cities, I don't know, patchwork, I guess. I haven't played patchwork, but it makes me think of whatever I always hear people saying about patchwork. So you're each gonna have 2 boards, and you're gonna be playing with the person on the other side of you, right? So in true Between Two Cities fashion, you're gonna draw from this bag of a gazillion different shaped polyominoes. You're gonna draw 2 of them. And then you have to choose, well, you have 3 at the beginning of the game, and then you'll replace 2 every round. So your goal is to have no spaces uncovered, or the least number. So the empty spaces are worth 1, 10, and 5. So you want to obviously cover up all the high stuff. You can't put anything over the forest patches, and you're covering everything up, but you can see there's some patterns on here, so we want to match these up. So we can bring out a single tile. When you have a flower, you get a single tile. And so that's going to help you with some of these weird ones like here. When you have 2 bamboo, it's going to bring out this adorable panda. And all that does is it gives you another tile to lay instantly and cover up more stuff. When you're able to make that match, then, oh yay, I get a panda, cool. I covered up 4 more spaces because of that. You also have, did I bring any out? Yes, I did. Pawns, and they give you these little floggies. Aren't they cute? And so, yeah, so you're doing the same kind of thing. You're laying out these tiles, and you're deciding between your 3 tiles which one's going to go on which board, because your goal ultimately is to have the highest score and win, just like in between 2 cities. So as I mix all these up here, come on now, you know better. So these are going to go back and back. So it's so cute and it's so different from Kodama, but yet the spirit is still there. This is not designed by the same designer as Kodama. It's actually designed by Jenny and Kevin. So if you don't know Kevin Riley is the designer of Aeon's End and his girlfriend Jenny. They designed this game, and it's very charming. I like it so much, and it was a nice surprise. It was a nice change to Kodama. Not that I don't love Kodama. I think I just was talking about Kodama 3D not that long ago, which I really enjoy because I love the spirit of Kodama. It's such a sweet game, and cute and friendly and approachable. But this is a nice new thing inside the Kodama world, so I really, really liked what that did there. So let's go back to comments and see what's happening. Let's see. If you want squares, check out Scorcerer City. Hey, we definitely have checked out Scorcerer City. Played that a few times now. It looks like a 90s Nickelodeon cartoon version of Kodama. That's funny. I would have never thought that. I like the cover. They look so happy. So let's see, moving along here. Let's see, what's next? Let's change it up a little bit. So I have, like I said, I always have, if I have any new arrivals, I like to talk about those. Typically Kickstarter stuff that's coming in. So what I just got in my Kickstarter, I had forgotten I had backed, is Elder Dice. I love dice. My husband and I collect dice. And I forgot how many I got actually, and it showed up and I opened up, got all these dice. So let's talk about that. That's my new arrival stuff is sponsored by Crowdox. Thank you, Crowdox. So let me go ahead and bring up my Elder Dice. Anybody else love dice here? I'm such a dice nerd. So this is all the stuff that showed up, and I was completely spaced that I did so many. We have a set of Elder Dice already from way back, and I bought the little bookshelf to put them in, but it's not enough to fill it up yet, so I've got that stored away. But we've got all these little tubes of dice that are lovely different colors. I don't know if these were stretch goal rewards or what. I'm thankful to have them. I don't remember asking or putting these on my order, but at the same time, why not? They're very pretty. And I like little tubes. But I think these must have been stretch goal rewards because I don't remember getting the tubes in my memory. I'll have to go back and look at my pledge as I struggle to put those back in. We're not going to do that again. So there's blue and there's whatever color that is, like a mixed blue, pinky, and then the lilac, which are all great. What's the real amazing are these little books. Magnetic boxes, you know I love those. And I just really like the inside. And I don't play any games that you would want these for. I'm just obsessed. You see, I haven't even opened them yet. Let's do that now. You guys deserve to see these. They just got here. Oh, aren't these so pretty? I love them. Aren't those nice? So I got all the sets. Now, normally keep, my other Elder set I didn't keep in the box. I put it in my big dice display, but I'm probably going to switch that now since I have the little case from them. So these are the Star of Azeroth. So the last ones were the Brand of Cthulhu. Oh, I like that purple. It's a nice looking purple. And so they all have like an icon that's associated with them, you see? Part of what makes the Maze ball amazing. So let's see. Let's go. Maze dice. There we go. That's what I was looking to say. So this is the Eye of Chaos. Doo-doo-doo. Ooh, I like that color. That is very pretty. I love the guys that make the Elder Dice. I don't know if you've ever seen their booth, but you should totally go by. They're really, really nice, and sometimes they'll wear a weird mask, like a cool, culty, totally thematically appropriate mask for what they do. This is the Seal of Yog-Sothoth. You know, I should know how to say all these things because I play Arkham, but I cannot do it. Don't ask me to. Ooh, I like those too. So I think these matched three of these matched with my, they must have just come with the set. And I think the black set was the one that I didn't get one with. So that makes some sense because I feel like that black set was special. Some sort of special. So anyway, dice. Who else loves dice? Am I the only one here today that is obsessed with dice and also magnetic boxes because they're awesomely cool? Okay. Struggle bus. All right, let's see. Who else loves dice? Oh yeah, I saw the Dispel dice on Kickstarter. I did back that at $1 to see what was going on there so I could check it out later. Didn't forget about it. Caffeine. Let's see. All right, so let's go to the next one. I think I'm going to talk about it next because it's weird. So I got a couple of interesting games here. And it's been a little bit since we played Etten. And I'll do my best. Because it's a weird one. And I'm not 100% sure I'm going to completely explain it correctly because I didn't do the teach. There was a lot going on. It's not difficult. We'll just switch. It's fine. All right, let's switch over. So, Etten. Dice out of the way. So, you're like a two-headed ogre, right? And you've got this center area, and you're going to, this is phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. And there's going to be all these cards stacked based on the phase that you're in. And sorry, this way. And you're going to have cards that you start with as well. And you're building up your hand in order to do, and you're either selling the cards or you're buying the cards. And that's the two different numbers here. And they're going to have different effects depending on a variety of things. And we're all going to have one of these player boards. And these are the 3 areas, technically there are 4, but the main 3 areas where you're having battles with the cards that you're playing with. And you are partnered. So the game, we played it at 4 players, so I'll just speak to that because it says 2 to 8 players, but I don't actually know how this works at anything but 4. I'm sure it works fine, but 4 seemed like exactly what the game was built for when we played it. So you're going to be moving a token along here, and each of these are going to have different things that you do. So in skirmish is when you're drawing the cards and you're buying and you're purchasing and you're kind of building up your hand for the battle ahead, right? One of these battles. Peacetime is when you're working with your partner and you're pulling from your own decks and you're buying or selling your own cards versus the cards from the skirmish time. You'll skirmish again and then you'll go to war, and that's when you're placing the different guys out here. And so they're all going to have different effects. Some of them will be defense. If they're defense, you'll get to keep them towards your defense later because there's a phase for all of this where these things are going to happen, but I can't remember what it's called. Produce, when you go to the produce action. All right, so then there's a fourth thing that happens over here, and I barely played that area when I played, so I'm not even going to talk about it, but you have to have this icon on the cards in order to play in that fourth area, which is off to the side. It's like a separate skirmish, kind of goal-oriented skirmish that happens off to the side. So then you'll go and there'll be this number 2 decks, and all these cards will go away, and you're putting cards into your retire pile. And either the other player's retiring your cards for you, or you're retiring your cards. And you have, this is where your war camp is, this is where your nation is, and these are the different areas you keep your cards throughout the game. So when you recruit, when you're recruiting, when you're discarding, when you're retiring. And the retired cards that go down here are going to be worth the points at the end, the points at the end of the game that you're working towards in order to be the winner. Okay? That is, so you're gonna just keep doing that until the end, and then whoever has the most points win. It's a very weird game. It's just different. There's that other area that I talked about. So you have to roll a die, okay? And then if you succeed and you're using the number on your card in order to apply for that, so whatever your die roll is plus 6, and you have to beat a die roll plus 6 with the cards that you lay out to go to this skirmish. If you do, then you get this card. This one is just an ability. Other ones give you something. There's a few different ones here. Success is just 20 points here. 20 gold. Victory points based on something. Just victory points. So you can see, it's weird. It's a weird game. It's cool though. I need to play it again because it was fine. Like, I picked it up pretty quickly, I think. But it was one of those things where I kind of need to play it again to see how I feel about it. Because it was definitely different. It's got a nice insert, but everything kind of popped out here, so that sucks. I'm not really sure. I like inserts that have a place for everything, but I want it to, it almost needs help holding things down. Which I think that's what these are for, but I didn't do it 100%. Close, but not 100%. But that's we've got to play it again in order to have a full grasp of it, I think. But I think I liked it. It felt like a game I liked, and it feels like a game I want to play again because it made me really curious. And I wanted to see kind of the progression of things because there's harder cards and there's a lot of different cards in the game that you can play with and how that all progresses. And then again, the dynamics of the person that you're playing with and so on and so on and so on. So that's it. It's a weird one, but I like it. Let's talk about... All right, I'm not going to put this out. I might get some of it out. Let's see here. Let me just go to here. So I'm going to read, because I did not play this. The guys played this, and they're doing a video on it for like their first impressions of this one. So let's see here. I'm going to just tell you what the kind of recap they gave me, because I didn't play it. I didn't see it played, so I don't want to get it wrong. But my understanding is that it is, you're building out your own Santa Monica. So you're drafting either beach cards or boardwalk cards on your turn. You're scoring some basic points from like objectives on the player board, but then you also may, there's a variety of cards that are going to give you stuff as well. So the guy said that one interesting aspect is that there are 3 types of meeples that you manipulate around your cards in order to score in specific ways. VIPs in particular want to visit certain types of locations. Obviously, VIPs are going to be worth more points because otherwise why wouldn't you want to bring it over? So play-ins during the round when a player gets a specified number of cards in their play area. I think it's like 14. The game has a fair amount of variability from the different cards, effect tiles. This is powered by things like sand dollars and your particular player board scoring, so you have some variety here. So let's have a look. I just want to make sure I explain that before I dove in. So, oh, cool. There's your little tourists with their little cameras. Isn't that cute? Oh, here's the sand dollars. Aren't those sweet? Those are nice. Little wooden sand dollars, cards, more people and stuff. So my guess is this is your, yeah. So this must be your player board and you're building out your own pier. I don't get it. I have to actually play it to understand how it all puts together. But now you can see, and there's some scoring. So looks like Ryan did pretty well. 58 points to David's 30 to Jeremy's 44. Wow. That's an unusual turn of things. Let's see what's over here. These are giant sand dollars that have some special abilities on them. Isn't that neat? All right, so yeah, so you have point, you're gonna have objectives, one sand castle, each camera and sunglasses visited. Camera and sunglasses. Cool. Those are the different types of visitors. So, and they look like they're the same on each side. They are. 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Yep. So, variety of different things there. Gotta say, it's very pretty, very beachy. Looks like the kind of game that should be in my mom's beach house for when people come to visit. It's cute. But yeah, I'll have to check it out. I think I'd like to play it. So that is Santa Monica. All right, let's see. I'm going to talk about this one, and then I'll talk about Paris. Paris is kind of a crazy setup, and I want to make sure I give it a little bit of time. But first, hello again. What do we got going on over here? Sorry, gotta get my caffeine boost / wet palate. So, Jeremy says that there's a pledge manager still open. I think his comment was from a while ago, because I probably missed that. Anyhow, let's see. Gator Dave's talking about it should have been Jersey Shore. That's pretty funny. So, let's talk about Welcome to Las Vegas. So, for those of you who do not know the game Welcome to, it is a flip and a write. So, you've got a variety of cards. You're flipping the cards. You're building out your perfect neighborhood. It's got a very retro 50s vibe to it, like a Pleasantville, Leave It to Beaver type vibe, right, to it. Love Welcome to. Great game, great company. Deepwater Games is amazing. Nolan is amazing. Love the game, love the designer behind it, who is just so clever. They have had a variety of expansions from Halloween to Doomsday to Zombies, and they've all been really fun. It's one of the few games I actually play solo, because it's just a lot of fun to play. And it's easy to teach. Everybody that I've introduced it to likes it. It's super portable. It's in its own little small box, but then I have sheets from all the different neighborhoods in there with all the stuff, so I can just play whatever seems like fun at the time. So when I heard about Welcome to New Las Vegas, I feel like I saw it at Gamma last year. I couldn't sit down and play. They were so packed because obviously they're there. Gamma's for retailers, and so they're demoing the retailers. And I'm like, I want to get in on that. But I couldn't. I mean, I could have if I had been able to sit and wait, but I couldn't because I had to go work my own demo table. But it looked really great, and I'm just really excited. And you already know it's going to be solid because of the original Welcome to. So, New Las Vegas, what's different, you ask? Let's have a look. All right, so, in Welcome to New Las Vegas, you see a lot of similar things here. We've got the gold card. You're going to have 3 of those, just like in regular Welcome to. So, for those of you that don't know Welcome to, there's always 3 goals out. The first person to it gets the higher number. Then it flips, and everybody else can still get it, but you only get the lower number. There's generally a solo variant of some kind. I'm not going to dive into that because I haven't had the opportunity to play the solo for this one yet. I had to pry this out of Jeremy and his wife's hands because they love Welcome to, so I know they want to play it. but I wanted to show it off. So here are our boards from the first go round. And you'll notice that you need 2 sheets. So you're going to flip one of those sheets over in order to use the backside as your kind of upgrading and tracking for points area, okay? So how does it work? Similarly to regular Welcome To, you're going to have the 3 piles. I'm sure there'll be a playmat coming just like in the other. And you're going to flip each one of these over. And you can use the combination. I won't get into too many details, but it matters. And you can always see the icon that's coming up. So when it flips, when this one flips over, the 10 is going to have the calculator on the back. And you can see that in the corner. It helps you with a little bit of planning when you're looking at what's here. You have a number, and that number is going to matter for where you put it in your neighborhood. Once you place a number, you can't put anything lower than it in front of it. You can only put lower things behind it, okay? Just like the easiest way to explain that is numerical order. Probably could have just said that and been a lot simpler. Anyway, you'll see here that this has got to be Ryan's because it says Fallout on it. You've got a ribbon. You've got, this is your goals. That's what these 3 are here. So this is tracking the ribbon. This is tracking the different shows that you are opening. These are hotels, which you'll see down here, and I'll explain that in a moment. This is tracking contingent strings of either even or odds. So if you can do a lot of odds in a row or a lot of evens in a row, that would be what you're getting here. This is for golf courses. You want to build these next to each other. When you start with the first one, I'll go into those in a second. So the golf courses are up here. And then you've got the limo, which the limo is parked at the airport and then takes off and goes around the city and some things happen. Then you've got, if your limo can't make it back, it loses stuff. And you've got this money. You've got some abilities you can use from the ribbon. And you've got this weird little flip over corner, okay? So let's start with the flip over corner because that's really the beginning of the game. You can either just all say we're going to get the 4 money. And money is important in the game because you're going to be opening things and they're going to have a little, there's 2 types of money. So you see there's this little loose money. That's money you need to pay. Stacked money is money that you have. So in order to pay, you have to have money that you have. Okay? Makes sense, right? They only want cash in Vegas. So starting here, you can at the beginning of the game say, choose one of these. Either we don't do the cash bonus or we do the cash bonus. And you flip it over. Nobody knows what you have till the end of the game. And based on how people bet, essentially, it is Vegas after all, you may or may not luck out at the end of the game. So you could be really risky hoping that more people are like, oh yeah, money, and open up all kinds of stuff and not be worried because we'll have the 4 money that will help us towards the end. Or you could bust, right? So that's the very beginning of the game. The next thing is this ribbon. We'll talk about the ribbon. So the ribbon, every time you can either mark off the ribbon with one of these cards, okay? And you're going to keep going and things are going to happen as you go and dependent on which of these actions you take. So you can then start using these boxes. So there's 2 per box until the end, then there's 3. And the first person to end helps trigger the end game. I think there's probably some other ways too. But that's the one I remember. Anyway, you're crossing these off and you're using one of these abilities. And these abilities are either making this card 1 or 2 higher or lower, changing the ability of this card. And then this is allowing you to actually make... I think this is choose anything kind of thing, but you have to then pay money for it, which is why you see these circled up here. Once you do that, and then you have to circle, and now you have to owe that money in order to have done this. Okay, so you can upgrade the ribbon. That's what these yellows are. For those of you who played Welcome To, it makes it worth more points, but it's kind of, again, it's a bet because you want to be the person who has the most here. If you're not, it's not really as beneficial. And if you are the least, you actually lose money. With shows, you can choose to upgrade one or both sides. This side's obviously easier because you're getting these payments out of the way. Once you start down the path, you owe this money until you meet that number. Then you can cross it off, I believe. It's been a little bit since I played it, and I only played it once, and there was a lot to learn in this game. Hotels are built based off of you finishing columns. So when I filled in this whole thing, if I'm the first person here, I get to circle the whole double stack. If once that happens, then you see there's a bunch of X's here, well, that's because somebody else already did that, and I can get this, but I can only get this small part of the hotel. Those are worth less points, okay? So you want to be the first person, because once somebody's built the double stack on that avenue, that's the only one that exists, so you can only build a single stack. I already explained the even and odds. Pars, so once you circle your first, you get one of these that has the golf course on it. Of course, I'm not flipping a single one over as I say that. Come on. Whatever. Actually, I take that back. It's not on one of these. Sorry. It's a lot in this game. Once you start here, you circle that one. Then you have to place numbers next to it in order to keep circling them. So you see how he doesn't have these 3 circled? It's because he skipped somewhere. He had a break. And then once you have that break, you can no longer circle the golf courses. So it's how big your golf course is. How many par 3s, how many par 4s, how many par 5s. And so if you're planning it right and you're upgrading these accordingly, they become worth more points. All right, so then there's the limo. And don't make fun of me, I forgot that it wasn't a card. All right, I'm not even gonna look at the comments. So then, with the limo. So the limo is gonna come out and you see this line kind of going around here. Your goal is to go past open VIPs, go past fountains, and as you do, those are now sites that you've taken your customer to, and they count towards your deal here. But you'll notice there's lampposts, and for every segment of lampposts that you are away from getting back to the airport, you lose points. You can also upgrade this so it's not so bad. So if you want to take the risk and go around, you can just make it so it's only worth -1 for every segment, but it's every segment. So if you're all the way over here and you're like 5 segments away, it's minus 50 points. It's insane. And this is all the money that you've earned throughout the game. And then you're going to do all the scoring accordingly, and ta-da, person with the most points wins as per the usual in these kind of games. And so you have some things these reds are the ones you have to count for negatively. And so that's it. That's Welcome to New Las Vegas in a super duper nutshell. And I liked it. I need to play it again because it was a lot. There was a lot going on, and to decide which avenue you want to go down, this needs some serious baggage. That's Welcome to New Las Vegas. All right, this will be the one we talk about next. But first, let's see what's happening over here. Let's see. You guys are talking about Marvel United. Oh goodness, that game. It's definitely like chibi Marvel. I'm sure it's super cool. It looks like there's a lot of really neat stuff. I think Jeremy's getting it. My friend Kevin's getting it. I'll get a chance to play it. So it's kind of one that I'm letting pass by me because I'm in on Wonderland's War and several others right now. And I told myself I was going to back off on Kickstarter. But you know, it is what it is. So Welcome to New Las Vegas. Love it. I love it. I want to play it again. I'm so glad I have it because now I will. I'll probably play the solo before I give it back. But it's super cool. I'm hoping we might get an opportunity to live stream it as well on Wednesday. But this Wednesday is Steam Watchers. So really quickly, we're going to briefly show you Paris. And I'm not going to get too deep into it because we need to play it again. It's a Kickstarter that is coming soon from Game Brewer. And it's like nothing I've ever seen. It does, like we all sat after playing it and went, I don't know that I know a game that does something like this. even a part of, like, you know, there's always kind of some semblance of something in games that you've seen before. And maybe it's just that I'm not thinking hard enough, but it did seem very unique to me, and I think you guys will find it interesting. I'm not going to go super deep into it. I'm just going to show a few quick things so that you get an idea for it, a feel for it, okay? So let's go back here. So this is Paris from Game Brewer. All right, so, and this is a prototype, remember, this is a prototype, okay? There is a lot of interesting things happening in this box. So the first thing is that you've got these player boards. And they look like this. And you're gonna pop this way, yeah. You're gonna pop this in here. You're gonna put a little roof on it. And they're player colored. And there's a black one, so I was happy. And there you go. You've got this adorable little hotel or whatever in Paris. And it's your shield because you don't want people to know all the different stuff you have. Which is kind of an interesting little way to hide it, and it just makes everything look that much prettier around the board. You're gonna have these sections that are kind of in a circle, right, around the board, and you'll see they each have like street names, and that's because they're going to connect together with this thingy here. All right, of course I don't have it in the right spot. So just imagine, this is fully built out. I'm only gonna do part of it because of space and zoomage. All right, and then around the outside of the board is where you track your points, but also some abilities that come out, and they all have, there's ones that go in each space. So this one gets this guy, this one gets this guy, and like in Agizia, as an example, so I guess I could say I have seen this in Agizia. You've got a player marker, and I've lost the player marker bag here. Imagine, if you will, that, oh, here we go, player marker, boop. You're all gonna start here, and you're also gonna have a cube that tracks your VP. And once you go there, it's yours, and no one else can have it, but once you go there, you can no longer go back. So if I go here, these three are no longer available to me, done. And they are different resources and things that you might need throughout your play of the game. So that's just what that outer track is. But the inner track is what is pretty entertaining. There are these you're gonna draft these in a way, and you're gonna put them out in a location. You're gonna choose which location you want to put them in, and there's gonna be different resources here, kind of like what you saw on those other cards. These things here, so they're gonna be a variety of either types of not VP. Can't think of the name for what these stars are, but one side is stars, one side is like gold, wood, stone. Okay. And you're gonna have these keys. And the keys you're gonna choose to put a key out. You're gonna choose to draw and place one of these, and you're gonna choose to either put a key out into one of these areas or move a key to a space with something on it. And there's gonna be a variety of things that happen depending on the type of space. So here, there's 2. If I go here, I have to pay 2 in order to go here out of my money. When I put this here, I would have gained that 3 money. Once I move it here, that frees up my spot again, so I could put another key here later. So if I want to have multiple keys in the same street, that's fine. But I have to pay to go here. But I'm going to get to move my pawn that we mentioned earlier to another spot forward on here, so I can get another one of those deals that I showed you earlier. And you're going to keep doing that, you're going to pay. So you go to 3, you only have to pay the difference of 1. But in 3, you actually have to pay 2 coins in order to move if you want to take that. You can just go here and you just pay the 1 extra for moving from here to here with your key, and you can forgo this action. But anyway, ideally you're working to get up higher and higher on things because in-game scoring stuff. And so obviously everything's about getting the VP around that outer track, and there's the ways you do that is being the person with the highest, because there's these little VP things that come out on these different cities. Boop, boop, boop. And you're going to get to choose when you're the 4th key that goes into an area. So not up here, but on these tiles. You're going to get to choose which VP you're going to put out. And then the person with the highest combined, so that means I need multiple keys out. If I have just a 2 here, that means all I have is a 2. So the chances that I even score last are low if I'm not the only person out here. So you're wanting to gain the highest, so I want to have keys in multiple places. And then there's these extra buildings that you can build, and they're available to everybody, and you can place them in between any 2 streets. And they become where your key goes next, and you can either go from here or from here to go to it. And you have to pay these resources, but that you can turn in some of those stars I showed you in order to gain more VP. It's kind of an interesting thing, but then I've got 13, say I'm up here with 13 and a 2, I've now got a total of 15 that I'm working towards to that top VP pointage. Okay? Sorry, I think I'm a little off screen. Anyway, so 13 in order to be the highest, but I want multiple keys in this area in order to do that. And then there's a variety of different, like these tiles that are going to let you gain an extra key. So you only have 7 keys at the start of the game, and that's part of the player shield. You don't want people to see how many keys you have. You're storing them on here as well as your money, because boy is money freaking tight in this game. Oh my goodness, the money was so tight in this game. And it's just, I don't know what to think about this game. I want to play it again. We were awaiting, because it's a Kickstarter, I'm pretty sure the guys have played it again already since we played it last, but they're want to make sure we're doing everything right, so when we do the preview, it's all very clear for everyone, obviously, and it's just a really interesting game. And so yeah, the center area, you can put keys out. What's cool about this, because once the keys in an area can only move around this area, but if a key comes out here, yeah, you don't get any money, but it gives you some flexibility about which of the areas you want to move to during your play. You're not as locked in with the key there, and it's okay to do that if, say, you have some money, unlike me, who just did it way prematurely, and probably, like, I just was so behind when I played because it took me a second to kind of understand what was happening here. And I don't know, I found it really, really interesting. So you see there's 2 different sides here. That's because there's a 3D version of this that'll pop up, but if you don't want to play with the 3D version, you can just play on this side, or you can put the actual stand in if you want. It's a really cool, different, interesting. I haven't seen really anything like it other than that little Agizia track, which isn't anything all that crazy, but like overall. So again, I want to play it again to make sure that I understood the rules correctly and that I was playing correctly. The guys may have already played it again, so something may be different than when I played it. But I am so curious about this game, and I think you should be too. So be sure to check out our preview when that comes along. Back to main screen. Hello, everyone. All right. So, yeah, can't go wrong with a Kramer and Kiesling game, right? So, let's see. I think Gator Dave says, "Are you the keymaster?" There's a lot of keys, and those keys are super important. So I think so. I think you're the keymaster. If you want to be the keymaster in Paris, you can be the keymaster in Paris. So I think for that, we are done for today. Lots of great stuff coming up this month on Kickstarter. So I'm sure I'll have more to talk about in the coming weeks. We have a whole bunch of, we've got a stack of games that we've got to get through. And I don't know, I think it was kind of a light couple weeks for me. I know the guys have played a lot more than me. Oh, I forgot to mention, I finally did get to play Wrecking Crew, Marvel Champions. We did that on a live stream if you guys missed it last Wednesday, and I will let you find out how we did. But they were tough. It was my first play with them. It was different. I played as Captain Marvel and Ryan played as Miss Marvel, if that's not confusing. But it was a lot of fun. I really liked it. You know, I need to go pick up my Green Goblin still. I need to go pick up my, what else am I missing? Green Goblin and Wrecking Crew, I think, are all that I'm missing so far. But there's more coming. Thor's right around the corner, so I'm excited. And I can't get enough of Marvel Champions. Obviously, one of my most favorite games. I'm super hyped for all the content that's going to be coming up for it. So that is the end of the weekly rewind for this week, guys. I will see you next week. We've got our local con, IndieCon next week, next weekend. And so I'm sure there'll be lots of gaming to be had there. And I'll have all kinds of fun stuff to talk about on Sunday. Fingers crossed. All right. Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you next time.